Mr. Jonathan, the lion is about to attack.
Every piece of art has a story. Every artist should be able to visually tell that story without even using your words.
Have you ever created any sculpture that took longer than expected?
There was a fella that I just finished. I worked on it for like 5 years. The materials that I use have their own story. They have their own struggles.
Is it true that you have your piece in at least 4 continents, 10 countries across the globe?
I wasn't thinking I was going to be, that would be everywhere, all over the world to exhibit. No, that wasn't the intention.
Today, I have something very special to share with you all. The journey of a great individual who come from a humble beginning to the world stage by turning waste into wealth. This is the journey of monumental masterpiece maker, the Bishop of the Leaders Cathedral. His name,
Dotun Popoola. My childhood was very, very funny because I destroyed a lot of things at home then.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings.
well, before you even introduce yourself, I want to say a big thank you because it's a lot of sacrifice. You traveled from Ife to Lagos this morning and you just came back. And I told you we've been waiting for you and you still come around. I want to say a very, very big thank you. So, well, for people who don't know you and some other people who want to pretend like they don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Well, thank you so much for this privilege. My name is Dotun Popoola. Well, I always reintroduce myself as the welder of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I call myself many names. Some people call me mad artist. And that's who I am, Dotun Popoola.
You've been an artist for a while now, and if we look at the journey of most artists transition from one medium to another. So can you tell us your journey into sculpting?
Well, let me briefly say my journey into art generally started as a kid, And at the age of 9, my parents saw that I was very creative and I love to create works of art from anything in the house, from household items, from using toothpaste box to create a car, to using can to create automobiles and different stuffs. So they saw that this guy has creative energy and creative potential, and they decided to support me 100%. I got 100% support. Though my childhood was very, very funny because I destroyed a lot of things at home then. Cutting designs on our leather chairs, cutting motifs on my parents' sofa and drawing on their bends, using sharp blade and sharp knife to create designs on bends. That has put me into several troubles at home. But because my parents were very sensitive, they saw that, okay, there's a need to actually support this guy's career. So they enrolled me into a roadside artist in the Yas Creative Studio in Lagos. And after that, I finished my secondary school in Lagos. Then I got my admission to Auchi Polytechnic, where I learned painting and general art. And after that, I went to the Obafemi Awolowo University to study sculpture in my first degree.
Which means you have both the academic knowledge of art and the practical skill and
everything in totality.
But in all those journeys, what actually sparked your interest into sculpture?
What really sparked my interest in scrap art is a long journey actually, and it's a long story. But I think after I finished my master's degree in painting, I was curious in knowing how to sculpt in metal. And that was what led me to, searching online who could mentor me. And I got a contact of someone in South Dakota. His name is John Lopez, who actually taught me how to sculpt in scrap iron. He taught me how to weld, taught me how to, do MIG welding, TIG welding, plasma cutting, and all sorts. So coming back to Nigeria, I started going to different junkyards. I go to mechanic workshops to pick up scraps. And I started creating sculptures with scraps. But before then, I was just painting, because remember, I had a master's degree in painting. So I was painting on canvas, I was painting on canvas, doing all sort of exhibitions, different exhibitions all over the world. But yet, my passion was into scrap metal sculpture. And immediately I got my first set of works that I did. I will show you the picture of the first set of works that I did in scrap iron. I took it to the market and it ran the market crazy. And that became the beginning of the high demand for my scrap iron sculptures. And at that moment, I just said, yes, this is what I want people to know me for.
I know what you just said now seems very, very interesting. And if a lot of people hear it, they'll be like, wow, let me start something like this. But I think, or let me say, I believe that your kind of journey is not something that is that smooth. So what are some of the challenges that you went through to get to where you are?
So one of the major challenges I had while growing up was the fact that I saw that the art market was saturated. The art market had a lot of professionals who probably would not let you
shine,
come to limelight. But the curious me was like, okay, you need mentorship, that's one. Then you need to go for it. So I met John Lopez online. I didn't know him before.
Wow.
So I sent him a mail and he said, okay, Dotun, you can come to the United States to come and learn. So I had to sell my only car then.
Your only car?
I sold my only car.
What car was that?
I can't even remember the product now. I think it was either Matrix or something. I mean, maybe Toyota. Matrix. I can't remember vividly. So I sold that car and I used to buy a ticket to New York City. Wow. Now, the amount of that car could only afford a ticket to New York and could not take me from New York to South Dakota. So I had to join the Greyhound bus for 3 days,
3 days
and 3 nights. And I was smelling the bus, whenever the bus gets to a bus station, I will quickly come down, take a towel to clean my armpit, clean every part of my body that was stinking and smelling. Then jump into the bus again, we'll continue the journey. America is very big. It's more like crossing a country.
Yes,
and when you enter the Greyhound, you understand that it's technically more like a Marco Polo bus that you will see in Nigeria, and you see all sort of crazy people in the bus and some, different kind of people. But that experience really showed me what resilience is all about. I got to South Dakota and I met John Lopez. We both had a cultural shock because John Lopez is a cowboy. He's a white, American. Some part of his family were Native American, so they probably haven't done.
America.
Yes, they probably haven't done anything with any black. Not to even talk about Nigerian. And Nigerian had a very funny name.
Nigerian ring a bell.
So I got there, it was a cultural shock. I was sleeping in the basement. The cowboy was sleeping in his room with his rifle fully loaded. And, there was really cultural shock. But the next day, we got familiar, we got talking. At the end of it all, I met all his family. His house was in the middle of nowhere on the ranch, where if you make any noise, nobody's going to hear your noise. So he introduced me to his family.
That kind of journey.
Oh yeah, it was the biggest risk. It's the biggest risk journey I've ever made in my entire life. And I'm not sure I want to make such a journey anymore. I mean,
but
sometimes
looking back to what the journey has.
Oh yeah, if you look at what the journey has made, you probably want to say, yeah, you would try it again, but it's too risky.
Yeah, it is.
Especially in a world where there is racial differences. I was just there as a novice. I didn't even know anything about that. The only thing I know was I've watched cowboy movies and here is a cowboy and I'm here. I'm just going as a Nigerian with a pure heart. So the journey was risky, but it was worth it.
Then, when you made the journey, do you believe it's going to be something this, do you think it's going to take you this far? When you are making the journey, then do you think, oh, transitioning into working with scrap, because I think that's part of the intention, like transitioning into working with scrap metal, do you think it's going to be something this big for you as an artist?
For me, I think I never saw today. Then I was just passionate about learning, improving my skills. I wasn't thinking I was going to be
Dotun
an household
Popoola
name that everybody want to talk to, that will be everywhere, all over the world to exhibit. No, that wasn't the intention. The intention is just to hone my skill, just to be a better person, just to be, sharpen my knowledge about creative work of art. I mean, that was it. So I never thought I would be a legend. I mean, I don't even know what legend sounds like. All I knew is that I want to learn more. And I think till now, I still feel that learning is just part of me because I'm still learning. So what I just saw is that I saw that the demand went up to almost 200% after I did my first solo exhibition, after returning back from the US.
What's the name of the solo exhibition?
So the solo exhibition then was called Irin-Ajo.
Irin-Ajo.
Then
Like
if you
Irin-Ajo. Then, but if you look at it from the Yoruba perspective, like journey. Wow.
So it's more like the journey, my journey into welded metal sculpture. Wow. So if you put the two together, Irin-Ajo, Irin-Ajo, so I just coined that, and the show was, was the talk of the town. And since then till now, it's been work back to back.
Dotun has not only been one of the best we've ever witnessed, he has also hedged his name into the monumental masterpieces for the 1% of the 1%. Your sculptures are known for intricate details and emotional depth, because I still remember the time we deliver this Elegushi work. I was around on that day. I was lucky to be around on that day, and I can see even people who don't really understand what art is. Most people don't have any other knowledge of art, especially sculpture, than roundabout there is one statue at around. People don't. I remember before I get close to artists, the understanding that I have of art, and now that I'm very, very close to a lot of artists, and not just ordinary artists, world-class artists, my knowledge about art changed. Can you walk us through your creative process of creating your masterpiece of an artwork?
My creative process entails critical study,
Yes, sir.
critical thinking, and reading histories, reading materials on the subject matter. Now, whenever I'm creating any piece of art, I always want to create a narrative around it. I want to tell a story with it. I don't just want to create a lion and just dump it on the ground for you to appreciate it as a lion. No. Because I always believe that each piece that I make have a soul, have a spirit. And I want that soul and that spirit to really be felt by whoever owns the piece. I always want to hide a long history in any piece of art.
How long of history can you embed into your work?
I mean, as long as the history that exists. For instance, if I create a work that dates back to 2000 BC, before Christ, then I should be able to tell that story in details. So every piece of art has a story, and every artist should be able to, visually tell that story without even using your words. When you see the work should be able to tell you a lot of story. I mean, some scholars will prove that wrong by saying there are some works that doesn't want, they don't care whether you understand the story or not. But for me, I think every piece of work that I create, I always want it to engage your mind. I always want to engage my viewers, my collectors, my clients, the museums, whoever, based on the fact that the materials that I use have their own stories. They have their own struggles. They have their own history. So, and I want to create an hybrid piece that will tell two things together. You know, when you say a piece is an hybrid, and an hybridity of materials, hybridity of concept, hybridity of culture in one piece. So I want to merge everything together so that when you see it, you don't just look at it as a decorative piece. No, it is a piece of art that is an encyclopedia. Just one piece should tell you a lot. And that is what most of my works are all about.
When you do your work, how do you know which particular metal? Because I've seen your work multiple times and I will see motorcycle, bike, I will see chain, I will see a lot of things. Practically any kind of metal that can be weighed, you have them in your junkyard, like, and practically anyone, any metal that can be weighed. So choosing all this material, how do you know what? Because each time I see your work, I always see, looking from distance, you can clearly tell that, oh, this is what this particular artwork is depicting when it comes to animal, because you work on a lot of animal. Right. I remember Metala 2020, I interviewed Sheyilo that day, and Sheyilo said,
from afar, I thought it was a bull that was hung for some barbecue or something, for some roasting, and then I got close and I saw the beautiful things that have been put together.
He thought it was a big barbecue until he gets closer and was like, what is this? You know, that kind of, you know, I don't know what to call it, but it's very, very powerful when people see something like that, you know. Despite the fact that I was in your studio multiple days before that exhibition, when you put all those work and do in their places at the exhibition, I was like, oh my goodness, like, oh. So how do you choose what parts, what materials to use?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I do a lot of studies, anatomy study basically. So in the process of studying, I always want to know which material gives me the forms that I want to achieve. Easy. So when I'm putting that forms there, I pay attention to the basic shapes. I pay attention to the anatomy excellence, and I pay attention to the intricate forms, so that when I'm making a goat, it doesn't look like a chimpanzee.
That's funny.
So because every animal has their shape.
Yes, sir.
Every one of them has their different forms. So when I'm going to the junkyard, I can easily identify the forms that would respond to whatever project I'm working on, based on the fact that I've studied the anatomy. That's the simple answer. Wow. Yeah.
See what you've caused, Dotun?
We cause traffic, man. We cause traffic. It can happen. It can happen. We cause traffic.
I strongly believe that buying your work is not just about being able to pay what each piece commands. It's way more than that. What are the requirements for owning your piece?
I think the first requirement for owning a piece for me is love. You must actually love what I do. Everything is not about money. If I see that you're passionate about my work, you have due respect for my work, you will have it. That's the first thing.
So let's talk about metaphor. In your work, how do you use metaphor to convey deeper meaning?
I wrote a book on meta and metaphor, the art of Dotun Popoola, some few years back, and
this book can serve as a coffee table material, can serve as a companion, can serve as a research material. I mean, you have 4 scholarly reviews there. It can serve as a catalog, and it can also serve as my, maybe like autobiography, even though I don't have all my story in there.
Basically, most of my works are they have coded meaning. Some I deliberately hide some icons and symbols into my works, creating a narrative that are deeper in meaning with them. Those are metaphors. I think my works have spirit, soul, and body that cannot just be expressed with just simple English. So some of them need to be well coded and probably analyzed by scholars. So most times I leave the formal analysis or thematic analysis to scholars to do, to critically review, and I don't really want to do their job. I just want to create art.
Technology is shaping the way we create and experience art. And how do you see the role of technology in influencing the future of art?
Technology has come to stay, and I think every artist needs to adopt technology to enhance your creativity. Without technology, you'll just be doing your work in a crude manner. For instance, in those era when Michelangelo was carving the Pieta and the David, he was using the chisel, just chisel with hammer. And that guy did a masterpiece.
My goodness, that work.
Now that we have technology, people have pneumatic tools, they have power hammer, we have jack hammer, we have all sort of advanced equipment born out of technological advancement. I think this should really enhance art. Technology cannot take away art, it will only enhance. Now we have the era of artificial intelligence, AI, creating images, creating videos, creating narratives, and doing all sort of editing that surpass human understanding. So these are things that they are welcome ideas for artists. They would enhance our creativity to the peak. I think every artist needs to adopt technology to their own advantage.
Now let's come back to the question of blood. You always say, or let me say, you always claim that my blood is green, my blood is green. You said it on multiple occasions, both on stage, both the time I come for visiting the studio here. If you're writing right up, I always see it, my blood is green, my blood is green. Like, can you elaborate proper on what my blood is green is?
Okay, when I tell you that my blood is green, I mean that I am a diehard patriot of Nigeria. A lot of people have lost hope in this nation. A lot of young people like me, they've lost hope. There were times that I felt, no, I should change my nationality. And sometimes when I look at the few things that I've been able to achieve, even in the midst of uncertainties, I still want to give back to this country. Now, a lot of people have lost hope and they have left. And they left. Some get a good result after leaving, some do not. For me, I think leaving is not the option. I always think about how can I be a voice to the voiceless? I always think about how can I add, how can I contribute? There was a time I told myself, yo, Dotun, just relocate to the US and get US citizenship, get US nationality and all sorts. I went to the US and I spent like 1 month. After 1 month, I told myself, Dotun, get the fuck out of here. Go back to your house. You are needed there. And I came back to the country and I started this museum. When I came back here, I saw that my assignment is still here. I have a lot of people that I need to influence. I have a lot of young people that are losing hope, that I need to give them hope. Some of them might not even function here. They are designed or they are made for me to inspire them to live here, not to die here. So somebody must be a Messiah. And that is why I always tell people that my blood is green, my blood is green. Yeah, we talk about insecurity. Yes, there is insecurity in the nation. But I hope and I pray that one day our generation will change those narratives. We can't protect ourselves. It's only God that can protect us. Though we always say government should protect us, government should provide, security for us. But I just feel that if you add your own voice, I had my own voice, you had your own voice, you do your own part, you help your next brother, you help your next neighbor, your life can be saved. There's a lot of people that does evil. Some of them do it out of frustration. Some of them do it out of anger. Some of them, you probably can't tell the reason why they are doing it. But I have found out that, God is my shepherd, I shall not want. It's my protection. But I will do my best in my community to make sure that I help the next neighbor help the next neighbor, empower all the youths that could pose a threat to your own life. And with that, you'll be safe. So Nigeria is a growing country, and we all can leave this country and expect miracle to happen. Some of us need to stay back and build this nation. And I am one of those people that want to build this nation. Not kidding. I say it anywhere, any day with confidence. Today,
with the little I see the museum that you are building here, it's not something you can just throw away.
We're just starting.
Because I can see oh my God, how many acres of land do you have here at the moment?
Well, I've been thinking about two and a half, close to three actually.
And you are still buying?
We will still buy, we will build it.
I remember the first time I came here, you were telling me that land beside us here, you want to acquire it. Now you own it.
We own everything. Wow. And we will build it. We actually build it.
As a recycling artist, how important is sustainability in your art?
Well, as a recycling artist, sustainability is the key word in most of the works that I create. In the last 5 years, I told myself that I needed to create a narrative that is so bold, so clear, and so glaring about sustainable development, sustainable environment. And I started reading about the 17 SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, and I saw where I belong, building a sustainable society and building an eco-friendly community. Maybe that should be goal 11. Now, my kind of sculptures that I create are from discarded materials that could have posed a threat to the environment. Now, whenever I create any piece of art, I have technically or deliberately taken over 1 ton or 2 tons of waste off the street. So if you put statistics of all the works that I have done in the last 6 years, well, we should be talking about metric tons of waste that I've taken away from the environment.
So this is the size of, I am 5'7", and you can imagine the height. So when people stand in front of it like this, she'll be looking at them, she'll be up taller, Cowboy hat this is about 2.7 meters, and it's going on 3 meters. That's about 6 meters. It's very tall.
And these are figures that you don't joke with. Now, I'm not just crushing them to make another metal. I am repurposing them. I am recycling them. And I'm reusing those ions or those metal for aesthetic purpose, for beautification, for creating a narrative of eco-friendly kind of art. Number one thing that I do, I know that quite right, is that I am one of the key players especially in this country, that focused on erasing our carbon footprint. And I can say it emphatically that I am playing that effortlessly. Our environment is scared of us because of our careless attitude, because of our dirty nature, because of we're not paying attention to the environment. Now, I'll give you these statistics. An average Nigerian generates 0.51 kg of waste per day. And there's a statistics that in the year 2050, we will have generated 105 metric tons of waste. Metric tons of waste, if we continue like this. And that is why we need to constantly talk about waste. How can we pick PET bottles and turn it to art? How can we pick metal and turn it to art? How can we pick, wood shaft on the road and turn it to art? How can we reduce our carbon footprint? How can we build a smart city? How can we build an eco-friendly environment? How can we build a house? Look at this place we built. There's no window, but it's cool.
Yes.
Yes, that's a smart city.
That is an
eco-friendly.
Without air conditioner last night. And even now, no air conditioner.
No air conditioner.
And it's still very cool.
Well, it's cool. If you're on the 2 AC now, you'll be freezing. So it's very cool any day, anytime, even without on the AC or any fan. So how can we improvise the cultural materials, the materials the people use then? How can we eradicate plastic entirely so that we can have a decent life, a sustainable life, a clean air, clean water, safe environment? So those are the things that my work talk about. And I say it very loud.
Have you had any mentor who have significantly influenced your artistic journey? And if so, how?
Well, while I was growing up as a young artist in Lagos, I had the first person that trained me how to create art is Niyas Creative Studio, Mr. Waidi. I could remember we did a lot of sign writing, banner, writing Arabic language on Wala, and he will wash it and use the water for something. I don't know what they use that for. He's a Muslim. And after that, I went to Auchi Polytechnic, like I said. So after I left Auchi Poly, I went to the Universal Studio in Lagos to do internship. And that was when I met Mr. Mufu Onifade. Mr. Mufu Onifade played a major role in my life. For 12 years.
12 years.
I was under his tutelage. He was guiding me. This is where to put your leg. This is where you put your hand. He taught me many things that I don't even know. And after 12 years of mentorship, I met another person like John Lopez, who played another role in my life, and he has been my friend. So at every phase of my practice, there's a mentor. At every phase, every chapter of my creative endeavor, there's a mentor. Now, I'm in another phase where someone like Duke Asidere is a key person that I look up to almost every time. And I look up to someone like Victor Eikiameno, Victor Epuk, Tola Wewe, and there are quite a number of people that their work inspires me. And when you look outside the shore of Nigeria, I have someone like Jordan Spring. I have someone like, there are quite a lot of them that I would call that they motivated me. But when in my journey while growing up, Mr. Mufu Onifade and John Lopez those two, I cannot erase their impact in my growth. It is written everywhere. I say it boldly, I write it boldly, and I put it, outside there for people to see. And what that means is that every young man, every young creative needs a mentor.
You just answered the next question. Because my next question is, a lot of people, especially young people, my generation, once we are doing good, most people are like, oh, I'm there. Now it's my thought to give advice to people.
You're not there yet.
You still need advice to actually maintain what you are achieving.
You're right. Every young person needs a mentor. No matter how intelligent you are, how smart you are, at every phase of your life, you need someone to guide you on how to go, or else you probably would mess up or you make mistakes.
Now, you said you have a mentor, and I know because of great people, no matter who they are, they always look up to someone for advice, for all those things. And you now, I've seen a lot of people around you. I'm one of them too. So you have a lot of mentors. And among these guys, especially the ones that are doing arts or anything in the art field, from all the industry that are all the industry that are under art, who can you say we should watch out for?
You mean part of my own mentees or
Yes,
my mentors?
Part of your own mentees.
Mentees.
Yes, sir. Your mentor are already, yeah.
Well, my mentees, I actually mentor a lot of young guys. And some of my mentees are doing very fine. And some of them are actually doing excellently well. Some are really, gradually pushing. But I think one of the key person that you should look out for is Mr. Jonathan Imafido. Because I always see him as a banger. And anytime soon, you will see him flying everywhere. I'm not kidding. You see him flying everywhere. He's someone I took from 100 level, and I was able to, I played a major role in his life, and you always say it everywhere he goes to. And I can't wait to see him shine, because when I put a light on your own candle, it doesn't off mine.
Yes, sir.
So I can't wait to see him shine. And there are quite a lot of them around me in the studio, a lot of youth coppers, a lot of fresh graduates that are, upcoming, young, dynamic, vibrant. Someone like Benga Deku, that guy, I respect him, and I know something great is coming out of him very soon too. So there are quite a lot, and some that I don't even know, that they just, oh, sir, you inspire me. I said, well, thank God. So I look forward to everybody doing great in the industry.
A lot of people look up to you. And when people look up to people, one of the most important things for them is to get advice on how to go about their daily life, go about their career, go about their business and every other thing. So what would be your advice to an inspiring artist that is looking up to you and want to be like you?
Well, one of the things I always tell young people who look up to me is to pay attention to those good things that I do. If you pay attention to those good things, then you can beat me in it. But if you don't pay attention, you hardly can beat it, because you're running to meet my standard. I am also on a run. I'm still learning. I'm still searching.
You're still learning?
Yes, I am still learning. I'm still searching. I'm still growing. So if anybody want to be like me, you pay attention. You look at my work ethics. I work so hard. And if you are mentally lazy, you can't measure.
I can testify to that.
Yes, you can't measure to it. So pay attention. Then you can do better than what I do. That's number one. Number two, hard work. See, Hard work is the key. There's no escape route. There's no escape route. Hard work.
There's no option B. What are you thinking?
Well, nothing. I'm just thinking on how we can put the buffalo on the base, The ayab, the length of the, the extender that would put the buffalo on the base seems not, it's not long enough. And my brain is beginning to calculate how we can use manpower to carry it, which is not possible. I don't know how we're going to do that.
We are too little for this.
I mean,
this 2,200 kg and
I mean, it's
12.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to carry it. I also know. I mean,
I'm sure we are leaving this place to tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to sleep here, man.
No option B. It's hard work. I work so hard. You see, I have made hard work to be my hobby. Working hard. Imagine working hard is my hobby. So, anyone that wants to, that is looking up to me should be ready to work hard. Should be able to have critical thinking. Should be ready to get out of the box, thinking out of the box, thinking beyond number. Be ready to move mountain. Yes, and think, use your head to think that the head will be almost, the head will almost burst. So these are things I do effortlessly.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So can you tell us about any upcoming projects or anything we should be expecting from you?
Well, the next project I'm actually working on is my next solo exhibition, which is going to be in Azerbaijan. Azerbaijan is a country that shares a boundary with Russia, shares a boundary with Georgia, and maybe Turkey. They speak those three languages. So I'm going to be exhibiting 20 of my sculptures for my next solo exhibition. All the works are on the ship now going to Azerbaijan. And I'm going to be, attending to about 90,000 people going for COP29. And that's number one project that I'm working on. I'm looking forward to achieving that in a couple of months. Two, I am currently building a scrap art museum in Ile-Ife and in Lagos. But the Lagos one we haven't started, the Ife one we have started. And we are building that on about 10,000 square meters. And we're building a smart city, an incubation center. We are building a welding institute within the same facility. We are building a smart museum where you can experience works of art made out of recycled materials. And we're going to have a studio where we train a lot of people within the same facility. So these are things that I'm currently working on that takes my 24 hours.
Yeah, for people who don't know yet, this space that we are using for this interview at the moment is one of the ongoing projects.
One of the ongoing cave.
Yes,
one of the cave at the Scrap Art Museum. We are inside the cave now. It's so cool.
I think we have a first space already.
Yes.
In this part,
section. This is the cave. On top of it, we have the bookshop.
The other side.
Then
upstairs.
we have the souvenir shop, and we have a restaurant. So the next phase of the project is the main museum, which we house over 5,000 works of art. Then we'll have a monument that is going to be a world record. So hopefully, in the next 5-6 years.
So we should be watching out for
watch out for something big is coming. Just watch out.
My last question: if you are not the Dotun Popoola that we know as an artist, the Dotun Popoola that we all know as an artist, what other career path will we?
I think if I'm not a metal sculptor or an artist, I'll probably be a cake maker or a singer. I love music.
Goodness.
And I love.
My next part question that I want to ask you. Some of those questions are there, but you can continue.
I bake. I love cooking. Sometimes I love to do cooking competition with my wife at home. Wow. So if I'm not a metal sculptor, maybe I would have been a cake sculptor or cake artist.
Thank you very much for having us sit, sir. Oh my goodness, this space is beautiful. the answer that I'm getting to every of my questions is just mind-blowing, like mind-blowing. And I wish I have more questions because you are giving more answer than even what I think he was going to give for each of those. It's really beautiful having you this evening. Just came back from Lagos. You went to Lagos this morning.
Oh, yes.
And you came back because of this particular interview.
I did.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Easy.
Thank
it's
you.
Not easy.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to do it.
Wow.
So thank you, sir. We made it. We made it happen, man. We made it happen. We've been pushing this for how many months?
It's not months, it's years. Because we've been talking about this thing since MetaLine 2020.
That we want to have this interview.
And I remember when we started talking about it earlier this year, you shared me email from, I don't want to mention all those big TV and corporations across the globe, most of them from outside the country. Like all those big channels that you know, they want to interview him too. But we have him first. So we have him first, but we've been working on this for a very, very long time.
Thank you so much.
Wow. And it's even the time you gave to us is very, very precious because this morning we went to Lagos. That was about 5-hour journey. Yeah. Came back and you also gave speech there. So and this, for those who don't know, we are actually recording this almost in the middle of the night.
Yeah, so it's dead night. Oh, it's night. Oh, I want to go home and see my children. Oh.
Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate your time. I mean, for you to watch this far, it's meant so much to me. Thank you so, so much. God bless you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you next episode.